6:45. We've got 2 hours to train, roughly. And anyway, let's get to the gym, guys. Let's focus. It's early. That's an excuse that we... Stay away. Fuck no. Let's go. Let's tear this up. Ooh, all right. Good morning, guys. Okay, so I've been up about 1 hour, and to brief you guys on what we did in the routine, we did 1.5 IUs of growth that I just shot now because I did my insulin first thing when I woke up. I didn't want the insulin and the growth kind of crossing over. So we did 15 IU of Humalog. I know it's a little bit high, and 50 IU of Lantus. That way we're starting to actually increase here because I'm giving myself 6 weeks. I already had explained to you guys 6 weeks on this thing. So, and I went and had 6 egg whites and about two red potatoes, about 85 grams in size, so about a total of 170 grams, and half a quarter cup of grape juice. That was breakfast, and I just downed the pre-workout, and we're ready to get to the gym. So I've got everything in my bag. But right, today's supposed to be quad day, but because you know that I took my my little pin of Trent the other day, my leg is still so sore. I can't even move it. It's been so long since I've been on a cycle. So we're gonna work on chest. So I'm warming up my rotator cuffs right now with this 10. I like doing this about 30 minutes prior to the workout, just because doing it right before just doesn't suit me. So, and this early, gotta get these joints fluid. So let's get this. Ugly fucking day this is. Oh, yesterday was sunshine, beautiful. Now it's like rain and all this crap. But let's get to the gym, guys. Enough getting soaked. So we just pulled into New York Sports Club. It's 6:30, 6:45. We've got 2 hours to train, roughly. So let's make this count. I think I shot a little too much Humalog. I did 15 IUs of Humalog and 50 IUs of Lantus, so I kind of explained it there. I'm a little dehydrated and I had to eat a lot. So I'm a little full. So far, the weight this morning, I weighed in at 173 pounds, so I'm up about 3.5 to 4 pounds within this first week. Good. Probably a little bit of body fat gain. That's fine, you know, water weight, completely fine. We're on a lot of stuff. I don't expect to be shredded while doing this, but we're going to try our best to keep body fat at bay because we don't want to look like a pig. And anyway, let's get to the gym, guys. Let's focus. It's early. That's an excuse that we want to use. It's too early. Let's sleep. Let's let our goals fade away. Fuck no. Let's go. Let's tear this up. I'm starting to go hypoglycemic, but let's get this done. I've got my juice, so
always keep your dreaming in sight. Now, this is where the nation unites. This is where the pop melts. You from the bottom, now you drinking from the top.
All right, amigos, to start this chest and shoulder workout this morning, we're moving on to a dumbbell incline. I warmed up with the 40 pounds. This is my second warm-up set with two 70-pound dumbbells or 75s for 15-16 repetitions. I then drop set that with the 40 pounds for another 10 to 15 reps, a total of 30 repetitions for our first warm-up set. Now that we've got fluid everywhere in the joints, moving on to our first working set. Two 100-pound dumbbells. Find a weight that you can do for 6 to 8 repetitions, whether they're 70, 75, 100, 150 pounds, whatever your level is at, pick a weight you can do for 6 to 8 reps. After this is done, man a dumbbell bench and perform 15 to 20 repetitions with a given weight. Here I just have two 55-pound dumbbells. I kind of did these pretty quick, being these were light. and I reached failure at about 15, 16 repetitions. Now working our way back up, again we're repeating the cycle, doing another set of 6 to 8 repetitions with the 100-pound dumbbells, keeping the tempo kind of slow. Being this is a heavy weight, I don't want injury on this either falling on my shoulder or elbow. I then performed a drop set with the 70-pound dumbbells that we used for our first warm-up set. Here for another 6 to 7 repetitions until I reached failure. I kept the tempo at around 2 seconds on the eccentric portion here, 1 second up. After this set was complete and I reached failure with the 70s, I drop set it with the 40s, the original warm-up weight that we used, for another 10 to 15 repetitions. Here, once I reached failure at 10 to 15 repetitions, I used the rest pause method and completed an additional 5 reps that will be shown in the next set. Here we have 90-pound dumbbells, being that the 100s became too heavy for me after the 4th set, performed for another 6 to 8 repetitions. After this set was done, we performed a drop set and grabbed the 70 pounds and then again the 40 pounds and performed 6 to 8 repetitions as shown here. Once I reached failure, or once you reach failure, use the rest pause method to complete an additional 5 repetitions, rest for 5 seconds, complete another 5 repetitions, rest for 5 seconds again, and complete another 5 repetitions until you reach 15 to 20. This way making the total repetition count 40 reps. Because we performed 6 to 8 on our first working set, drop set for another 6 to 8, which makes the total rep range 14 to 16, then performing 5 reps at a time, rest pause until you reach 40. So we are completing a total of 5 to 6 sets, even though these are rest pause and drop sets combined. You can use this method as a pre-exhaustion to build a little bit more muscle or to get more of a pump. Moving on to our next exercise, incline hammer Smith. Here I had only 1 plate aside, 1 45-pound plate as a general warm-up, performing 20 to 25 repetitions to get kind of my shoulder and my upper chest warmed up again for this exercise, being this is a different postural position than using the dumbbell incline. After this set was complete, we racked on an additional 45 and completed 2 more sets of 8 to 10 repetitions. Once I reached failure here, I performed a drop set and pause reps. I felt that mixing it up was a good way to kind of get a good pump. So whether you choose to perform a drop set, a superset, a rest pause set, partial reps, half reps, forced reps, whatever it is that you need to do to reach your targeted rep range, it's acceptable. I chose to do a drop set and pause reps here. So after completing 8 to 10 repetitions with the 2 plates, I complete another 8 to 10 repetitions with 1 plate. I then perform some pause reps at the very end to reach failure and unilateral presses, doing one side at a time. One thing you may notice that I like to do when performing the hammer Smith is lower the chair to the very, very bottom. This way I'm actually targeting more of the clavicle and the outer portion of the upper chest. This allows me to get more of a deeper stretch versus having the seat all the way up, where I'm kind of prone to a certain range of motion. Moving on to our next exercise. This is a Smith machine bench press. I warmed up with just 2 35-pound plates aside, performed for about 30 to 35 repetitions. Just to get synovial fluid in the area. Being that we finished upper chest, we're now moving to the middle portion, and then we'll move to the lower portion when this is complete. After the warm-up set there, I held contraction in the chest by flexing once each set was done. Strapped on another plate, which was 25 pounds, making this 165 pounds. Being the Smith machine bar is only 30 pounds, the total weight was 135 pounds. This was performed for 20 repetitions. I then rested and performed another 20 repetitions with the same weight. After that was done, we performed a drop set and went back down. Next exercise is a landmine press. We're actually using this T-bar row machine, being this gym doesn't have a station where we can stick a bar in a corner without breaking anything. we use the T-bar row machine. Perform 15 to 20 repetitions with a given weight. Perform another drop set of 15 to 20 for only one circuit, making this 2 sets total. This is tough, but you know what? Never give up. Never give up. Second drop set here, there's 145 and 125. Perform for 15 to 20 repetitions. Then drop set, take the 25-pound plate off or remove 35% of the weight and perform another 15 to 20 repetitions to failure. One thing I like about this exercise is the squeeze we get in the inner portion of the chest. Moving on to our next chest exercise, cable crossover. Warm up with a weight you can perform for 15-20 repetitions. Here I have about 3 stacks on of 3 plates. It's probably about 30 to 40 pounds. Nothing too heavy, just enough where I can feel the weight and get the muscle moving. Next working set, here we're going to perform a triple drop. Here I have about a stack of about 7 to 8 plates, perform for about 6 to 8 repetitions. Once that was complete, we strip off about 2 plates, perform another 6 to 8 repetitions here as shown. Once that set is complete, rest for about another 15 to 20 seconds and strip off 2 more plates and perform another 6 to 8 repetitions. Making this one drop set, perform this exercise only once. So we do one drop set, strip off plates, another drop set, strip off some more plates, and another drop set, making this a triple drop. Now moving on to a sled push in the CrossFit area. Here there are 3 plates on the stack, pushing back and forth just for 1 round. We then moved up to, as you can see here, 5 plates. Push it again back and forth for 1 round. These were our warm-up sets. After this was complete, we stacked on 6 plates with 125. This is the heaviest that we went. And I pushed it back and forth 3 times, so about 3 circuits, 3 rounds. We then had stripped it back off. That will be shown here shortly, back down to 4 plates. And pushed it another 20 to 30 feet or however long the distance is here for another round.
Best finisher right there, so a little bit of good cardio. Might hit that after I do shoulders again. So much fun.
Now that the cardio portion is done, we're moving on to a machine fly. I've always favored incorporating high-intensity cardio along with my training, as I felt this is a great way to kind of spread out and even out the blood flow, and also allow periods for more rest for heavier weights oncoming. So here I'm using the whole stack on the machine fly for about 8 to 10 repetitions. I then stripped off about 4 to 5 plates. Moving on to the shoulder portion of our workout. Here there's 2 50-pound dumbbells. It's the heaviest that I went, being that my shoulders are already pre-exhausted, for about 8 to 10 repetitions, keeping the tempo kind of low. Stripping back down to 30-pound dumbbells each hand for another 8 to 10 repetitions, as you can see, keeping the tempo at a very, very slow rate, reaching failure and performing half reps at the very end to reach my targeted rep range. Superset this with an ISO hold. I'm holding only one 35-pound dumbbell, taking about 10 seconds to raise the rate and lower the weight, as this was a great way to push some extra blood and stretch the fascia of the shoulder, being that there's 3 heads to it. I want to make sure I'm evenly warmed up before targeting every head. Next exercise is a cable front raise, superset with a overhead press, as you can see here, from one front raise by bringing the bar over your head and press upward once, making this a combo attack type of an exercise. You're doing 2 movements in 1. Once you reach failure there, perform 5 to 6 forced reps on a front raise, as shown here. Moving on to our final working set. Another 8 to 10 repetitions of the cable front raise and 8 to 10 repetitions of the cable press. So you can perform this in either fashion. You can do the press first or the front raise first, whatever is comfortable for you. After you reach failure there, perform another drop set, reduce about 50% of the weight, perform the same amount of repetitions you did for the first set. If you completed 8, perform another 8. Next exercise we'll move on to is a incline front raise. So find an incline bench, lay against it with your stomach on top of the bench, performing 8 to 10 repetitions, trying to target mainly the front head here as well as the trapezius. The variation I like in this is that you can bring these dumbbells forward, back, or even to the side, so you can hit any head of the shoulder here. Moving on to our final exercise, this is the hack press, one of my personal favorite shoulder exercises. If you do not have access to this machine, you can also perform a standing barbell military press or machine shoulder press, whichever you favor. Pick a weight that you reach failure at 8 to 10 repetitions. Here I have 2 to 3 plates aside on the hack squat, performing 8 to 10 reps, taking my time lowering the weight and pressing the weight above. As with shoulders, you don't want to go too quick with these or too fast or too assertive or explosive, being that shoulders are very, very busy muscle. They have a lot of rotation and can get injured. Moving on to my final working set of 8 to 10 repetitions. I had taken off the weight belt due to the pain I had in my back. Finished my 8 to 10, performed another drop set, and then some pause reps at the very end to reach failure. After this, we're then moving on to abs, on the icing on the cake, and finishing this workout.
Okay, doing our core right now on a plank, actually. And trying to hold this for as long as I can while supersetting it with the sit-up machine right there. God, that was one hell of a session. Okay, let's get our my proteins in my car. I left it in there, and let's do another 10 IUs of Humalog, and let's eat. I'm hungry.
To use a little bit less Humalog post-workout because I am starting to feel the peak, and I just started feeling hypo, and I had a meal about an hour and 20 minutes ago, a pretty large meal, so I don't want to be getting too fat. So I know that I've got to probably dose less Humalog post-workout, maybe use Humalin. I mean, 10 IUs is just a lot, so I'm starting to shake a little bit here, so I had to go buy one of those Gatorades because I couldn't go out to my car and get my grape juice on hand, but I'll just carry that from now on. Got some dinner here tonight. This is about 2 cups of broccoli, chicken steak blend with plain Greek yogurt, sugar-free ketchup, tomato sauce, avocado, and olive oil. Relaxing here now. We had our meals for the day. It was pretty horrendous going hypoglycemic almost 3 to 4 times, but tomorrow we're going to hit quads like we were today, and I'm going to assess how I feel as far as, other than that, the day went well as planned as well. So I will be timing out and see you guys tomorrow for quads and calves, so get ready to get under the squat rack. It's going to be fun.